Hello guys, here we are for another video here about the golden nuggets I found in the internet while playing my AoE2 sessions on 1v1s. These nuggets are, they don't happen every day and every single time, but eventually, every time they come, every time I get to stare at one of them, well, it's really the time to show them here online and share it with you. Uh, Either because the game was incredible, because it was good, or also because you had some outrageous things, and it really was something unexpected. And that is the case of the game I'm about to show you. In this particular game, you will see an opponent who executed, I would say, very brilliantly, uh, basically a killing strategy where I would have no option, no possible way out. And surprisingly, and against all odds, some extraordinary things might unfold. So pay attention and watch what we're going to witness, because I tell you, this one is worth it. Uh, this one is not a very long game, but you'll see. As usual, my POV, and we'll just very occasionally at a specific moment in times we might watch on the enemy. So here we are. Game starts. I go with Persians, and my opponent is Burgundians. And obviously, for those who are used to play this game, you know that Burgundians is not an ordinary civ, because as soon as you hit certain ages, you are able to produce stronger units than any of your opponents. Um, I will not say exactly what kind of units these are, but you'll see. So first thing first, I'm just gathering my herdables to hear the turkeys and using my scout to explore the surroundings. Obviously, this opponent here, he was using an Indian account because I was using the spectator dashboard at the time. And obviously, it is an alt account. You call yourself hello, you could call yourself goodbye, it's the same thing. But either way, let's see how the game unfolded against an obviously experienced player. You'll see. Well, I just scout around my surroundings with the scout. So the usual thing. Some villagers on food, others on wood. I don't have a specific metric of 5 on here, 2 on that. It doesn't have to be like that. Sometimes it can be 6, it can be 1. There's always one villager on wood. Right now the game looks quite cozy and the typical thing. It's just 3 minutes into Dark Age. I have also, by the way, I've added basically 2 more videos. So at this time there was first like a sample video of what you can expect on my 1v1 sessions. I will obviously not be publishing the 1v1 sessions at all times. For that, I have the Twitch sessions. When I go online, I will play, and that's how it is. But at least I give you a small sample of what you might expect in terms of my opponents, my own moves, just to get a little bit of the flair in the air of the mood and the environment that you might expect in the sessions. And also, I would say it's a sample, it's kind of a sample video because you can see also 2 team games, so there was a mix of 1v1s and team games. That allows you to get a grasp on the kind of things and the kind of feelings, or, you know, what you can expect from it. Here I decided to go for, now back to the game, to make the lumber camp and the mill. The usual build orders. The scout is like watching me. I might think on eventually knocking it down. And that's exactly what I tried to do. That scout is at Basically, no HPs. I used this villager within the path of the scouts to knock him down. I mean, it was. This was literally the scout was invitating me to go after him. Low HPs, depleted. He just needed one hit by a villager to knock it down. Of course, that thing could have been hunted better, but at the time I was focused on the scout, uh, the enemy scout, and obviously knocking down the enemy scout is a good thing. However, you might think that the game that doesn't mean the game will become easier. The first instinct you might think is, okay, opponent has lost his scout, so now it will be much more difficult for him to track my movements, and he will be inclined to be perhaps rather defensive. Don't assume that. It might be an it might be a too of a wild guess. It might actually be a wishful thinking, because you might assume that he will be on the defensive and he will not pursue you or he will not go after you. But who knows if the opposite happens. Here I go with the second here, sort of a boar-like since the new DLC. And by the way, I'm eager. I'm more than eager and enthusiastic about knowing when the nerf will take place. There will be a nerf about the new DLCs, and particularly regarding champs. And I'm more than expectant in knowing. Oh, look at this! Look at what's going on. A militia rush. We have a drush in Dark Age, guys. Now, that's exactly as I told you. The guy, even though losing his scout, that did not deter him from going forward with a militia strike. Yeah, so he went for a rush, and when that happens, you know that all hell breaks loose at the stage. My wood is completely unprotected, the wood line. The mill is completely exposed. Those two villagers at harm. The gold mines are not secured. I'm open everywhere. Uh, We have everything for this to not go right. We have everything to go wrong. Every element of the recipe is there. Let's see what happens. So the first instinct, I probably garrison the town center. And he's smart. He quickly takes the militia away from the town center. I try to protect the area within the woodline, and I quickly cover this. Quick reflexes. Again, sometimes this is a game of reflexes. I don't like for strategy games to become click strategy reflex game, but sometimes that's the case. And it quickly drives them away from the town center. I try to lure him to the town center. He doesn't do that. I can fight the militia because my vills are loomed and we don't have meta-arms yet. I try to protect my gold as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, I'm not as fast, and there's this problem. I still try to get him. Then I get the weak militia. The weak militia is down. I have not lost any single villager in this process. He has lost gold units. This is important. And I'm still open within the woodline. I realize that. I quickly need to wall this. Again, very fast-paced environment here on this particular game. While I'm playing this and trying to comment in the same way as I was playing would be impossible, because it's literally 7 things happening at the same time, not 2 or 3. Right, a good thing about this is that my wood line is completely defensed, completely protected. So is my gold mining area. There is no way the enemy can get in. I'm literally safe, and basically I'm stalking my enemies. I'm stalling them. I'm stalling the enemies. They cannot come in. I have to use the villager to tear that wall eventually, but I'm more than fine. And here I try to do something very sneaky, exactly blocking the path. The town center villagers are garrisoned, and 1 militia is killed. That was worthy. That was so worthy. I don't kill. I did kill. Those 3 emergency houses serve their purpose. We blocked the militia, and as a result, adequate town center garrison times, we had 2 militias down. In this process, how many villagers have I lost? Exactly. No villagers. No villagers lost. So again, I think it still was a good outcome for this. But keep in mind, this was just a small and insignificant skirmish of the game. It's still not over. See, the guy is now feudal age. Understandable, because he was not harassed and harassing me in a good way. No, he was attacking me, my base, and I was unable to extract the resources that I would normally have obtained at that point. He essentially thwarted my plans to get the 500 food in a relatively speedy manner. So what do? Now that he's feudal age, I try to make a wall circle around my base, covering my potential entrances in order to either prevent any unit infiltration, be it scout rushes, be it archers, be it whatever, or men-at-arms, or spears, or skirms. As long as I would be, like, walled, at least I would be defended against any potential quick rush. However, and again, however comes here again, our opponent is Burgundians. And for those who know, the Burgundians have very good castle age timings. They can accelerate and get quicker castle age if you do certain economic researches early on. If you do either wheelbarrow early in Dark Age, if you start to do your farm upgrades since Dark Age, because Burgundians get their farm and woodline upgrades 1 age earlier. This means the normal upgrades that I would get here at the mill and the lumber camp, so for the mill it's the horse collar, and for the lumber camp it's the double bit axe. These upgrades that I only get in feudal age, the opponent gets them in Dark Age. I don't say research them, I'm not going to look at that, but it's kind of inviting. You do certain researches, you can quickly go to the next stage. If you do certain researches, you get greater efficiency, your farms become stronger, you get more food, and that means you age faster. And here I go on the offensive, unloomed villagers, I try to strike as much as I can. And the reason is, I know that Burgundians, as soon as they hit Castle Age, they have a huge power spike. And what kind of power spike is that? Well, I will tell you a clue. It's this. It's linked to the stable. Double stables. Now, the first thing that comes to mind, what is it? It's a stable, he's Castle Age, so you have stable units, you can probably make knights. Yes. However, Burgundians are also able to make better knights at Castle Age. In fact, in the same way as they get their upgrades from the mill and the lumber camp 1 age earlier, they also get their cavalry upgrades 1 age earlier than everybody else who can do that unit. And what unit is that? The Cavalier. The Cavalier. So the thing is, I can expect my Burgundian opponent to spam a never-ending spawn of cavalry. And Cavaliers, you can expect. I'm thinking he's coming to attack my base with literally a whole army, a hell army of Cavaliers. Cavaliers, which are essentially they are the upgrade version of the Knights of Castle Age in Imperial Age. And of course, it costs time to research this Cavalier upgrade. In case the Persians, they also have this upgrade. So let's put it here. This unit that the Persians do have in Imperial Age, actually not every civ has this unit. Some don't even have knights, but in any case, the Burgundians also have knights. And they already get the Cavalier upgrade in Castle Age. It costs them 300 food and 300 gold, likewise. That's no doubts about that. And if you have doubts, well, you can look at here. So Burgundians would be 300 food and 300 gold. That's what they get. And you understand, if you look at the stats, that it might become a little bit tricky. these are not just they're slightly upgraded knights, 120 hit points instead of 100, so plus 20 HPs, and they got 12 armor. What is this? Pierce armor? No, it's melee armor. From 10 to 12. So slightly better knights. And you might think, okay, since I'm in feudal age, what can I do? Well, I can go castle age as quickly as possible, but look at the state of my economy. To go castle age, I will need 800 food and 200 gold. Do you see 800 food in the bank or near it? No, I'm missing at least 600 food. One way to do it is, you might call it, we'll see it. Or better, what do you think I might do it in order to speed up my aging process? If you know, bonus points, and write on the comments what I might do. Well, it's an opportunity to know. When you're in similar situation, what could you do? I tell you that this game is not only to be played by a certain group of people who will play this game, I don't know how many years ago, every single day. It doesn't have to be that elitistic. So we're kind of opening the gates for those who wish or have interest, genuine interest, and they might actually catch an eye on this and start to improve or do this as a hobby as well. So okay, first thing, I try to take down as many villagers as possible because the less villagers, the better. Yes, this guy is an experienced player, so I'm just telling him, ooh, ooh, look at him. He's angry. He's angry that I figure him out. Dude, don't worry. Whatever you are, even if look, at this stage, I'm using this as a means to say I'm fighting someone who knows this game and who plays all the card tricks on you. So here, I'm just saying I have not caught a regular player, a normal, player whose main account is where I sit. I'm getting a player whose main elo is far above mine. He's using an alt account, and this player is just either trying new strategies with me or playing this game to try to tear me down. Either way, it just means that it will be harder for me to win. So now the stakes are very hard for me to try to get this game. Yes, you see me that I have upper score, but if you're smart, you understand that the Burgundians, and if you have experience in this game, the Burgundians have very strong tools in Castle Age. And they can easily get the upper hand against someone who is in feudal. Let's see what I do. Well, I try to kill as many villagers as I can. This is Banther. I did not use this thing as a report situation. When I say this, it means you're playing under an alt account, pretending to be a player of this elo. So it's a bit more complicated. So you have the elo system in this game, which technically, if in good faith, but it's abused, of course, should reveal a player's skills. However, what happens is that there are no restrictions in the creation of alt accounts per player. You can have as many alt accounts as you wish. A player can have 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 accounts. Nobody will tell him that. Nobody will restrict him for that. And you can understand the problem. If the most experienced players are constantly creating new accounts on the starting elos, because every new account created starts at 1000 elo, then you can understand that each time the player that comes to the game, or that is just trying to get above the 1000 elo, is going to face these top pro players using their N1000 Smurf account or N1000 alt account. And they can use those accounts for a variety of purposes, but either way, it just disrupts the competitive possibility for many other players. Because in order for you to rise above, in this case the 1000 euros marks, You can only do so if you beat the top pro players in this game, which is insane, right? It should not be like that. It should be if you have main players on 2,000 elos and nearly 3,000 elo, then of course you cannot. It should mean that in those elos the games are harder, and the lower you go, the games should be more accessible, right? In a scale of accessibility, wrong. And the very opposite happens. In fact, in this kind of middle zone, you have the top players or some top players. I'm not here saying name A or name B, who are using these elos either to test new strategies, to stomp on noobs, or just to uh, stop the progression of regular players. And you can understand the unfairness that comes when a player whose main elo skills are around 1,000 and who has no other secondary account is forced to fight uh, top players who are just toying around with 1,000 elo accounts. Top players who have 2,500, 1,700, 1,800 on their main elo account, but are resorting to a plethora of alt accounts by which you're forced to fight them. So there is no way for those players who are between within the 1,000 elo range and who have some experience who want to climb up. There is no possibility for these players to climb if they always have to face these top pro accounts. That is the problem. Not only they do not rise, they fall because you understand that there is a huge skill imbalance when a player which is middle or average or a little bit better than average experience is forced to fight a top pro in this game. And I tell you, there are no restrictions in the number of alt accounts a person can have in this game. So there is literally, if I would be within the top 20, if I would not mind, I could just buy myself 1,000 or 2,000 accounts within the 1,000 yellow vicinity. Nobody would do me a thing. It's okay. There is no restriction. Of course, this undermines competitive integrity in the strictest of reasons and strictest of scales. And if you cannot understand that, man, you're part of the problem. That is clear. If if you're disrupting, if you're forcing the top elo skills in the mid elo tires, you're obviously not allowing for a balanced system, and obviously they know it. But the thing here is, me as a player with much less skill and faring facing a much more experienced and much more skilled opponent, who is obviously using his alt account because you're playing under a hello name, and that's obviously clown. Um, and it's not just because of hello; it's you will see all those things. He went for a fast castle at 16, 17 minutes. All these things show experience and competence. It's not a regular thing. However, just take a look and watch. Sometimes, not very often, unfortunately, but there are times where the less experienced player, the player that is not considered a favorite, or better, the player that is considered the favorite to lose, wins. And that is where I come. Just watch. Because I'm not doing this just to show, oh, how great I am defeating a much more experienced opponent. It's to show that you, as a non smurf, as a regular player, or someone who plays this game uh, for pure hobby, pure interest, you can still defeat these monster players who have much higher skill than you. It is still possible to defeat someone who has uh, a full medal of tricks where you don't have any. You can still defeat someone who plays this game for 15, 20 plus years every single day and does nothing else with the aim of just crushing people who have no experience. I'm showing this to you that you, as either a person who never played an RTS game or someone with some RTS experience but just do this as a limited hobby thing but is afraid to play the 1v1 ladder because of these um, these little clowns who use alt accounts to stomp whoever has less skills in them, that you can still beat them. I know it's disheartening for players who have been, subjected to, they play, and each time they play to lose because the player they're facing, they're incomparably superior, and it feels like they're completely steamrolled. They couldn't do anything because they're facing obviously alt accounts, players using their alt accounts, their N1000 alt accounts and Smurf accounts to just either crush them, or to have an easy time, or to even test new strategies. And of course, that feels frustrating for the average or regular player. So I'm telling you a little bit of tips that do not lose hope, because there might be a time where the good guy wins. Oh, you might say I'm the villain because how can I'm not. You say no, no, I'm the good. I'm not the good guy. This guy is calling himself the good. No, because I'm not. I just play on this account. I'm not. I'm not using. I understand how the average player feels, right? I understand that it's wrong to undermine the play game integrity, and it's just my way of acting. I don't. I'm not going to come online to just to to stampede people who have much less experience on purpose. I don't do that on purpose. I don't do, oh, let's go online and stomp some noobs. I don't do that. For me, I think that we should have a game where if everybody wants to play that game, they should not be restricted. It's important that the game is inclusive and that we give people a chance to play this game. And I don't like this game to be gate kept by a group of elitistic people. We need this game to be uh, open, accessible in a way that people do not feel intimidated and they want to watch and eventually play it. If you want to rise for the top of top belows, yes, you have to grind. Like that, there is no escape. No, nobody will make life easy for you. So that's for sure. But what I'm upholding here is that for those players who think that I will never be able to beat, or the good guys, the guys who just play honestly will always lose, I am proving you here with this game that it's not the case. That's why I recorded this game and put it online so that you can't claim that the guy who has lesser chances never wins. You cannot claim that. There is one of these times where the one who plays by right rules, the one who plays by, I don't know, fairness, integrity, and tries to uphold these values, at least I try in the best of what I can, wins the game. So watch it. He's trying now to break in with knights. And as you can see, I decided to stonewall my base. They're just knights, so no problem right now. And I'm using all the stone I have. Oh, look at this. They're no longer knights, now they are cavaliers. And knowing that cavaliers are stronger knights, you can already see the problem. They will break into wood walls super easily. They can break into palisade walls, and that is a problem. That is why I decided to apply these stone walls behind. And I think it was a wise decision. Yes, it cost me stone, but at least it was the right call. That was a risky thing, but I decided to do this because I wanted to make sure that I could take this area, the space. Again, he tries to come here. The preemptive door I get here was good. He doesn't give up, I tell you. So what is this experienced opponent trying to do? We'll see. But for me, I'd say in this game, every time someone who is less experienced wins against someone who is spending his time creating alt accounts to stomp others, to cancel players from their progression, acting without integrity towards the game just because they want to keep their advantage, I never cry each time such player gets defeated. He's trying to take down the wood walls. Again, that is a strategy. Huh. I'm at feudal age still. The guy's castle age, look at his score. He already flipped it. Where are the guys who told that a while ago, hey, but he's top in score. You're top in score. What are you saying? Excuse me, he's now top in score, and you can understand that, right? So, eh. Oh, Rams. I'm feudal. What siege can I make? Tell me what siege can I make in feudal against this fast-paced Russia? He comes with cavaliers. They have forging upgrade. They have the first armor upgrade. There's the battering rams. Oh, I can still wall. Oh yeah, sure. Blacksmith is about to go down. That's why I also walled behind it. Smart. But being smart here is irrelevant. I need to defend myself. Those walls are going down. And after this wall breaks, I'll be in trouble. And what do I do here? I think I make a wall. I have to make a wall here because this is open. This is open. Okay, right. Could have been worse, but I think this also is open. Oh, confusing. I'm queuing a mangonel at this stage. You can sense that. And what a maze of confusion. But this guy made a forward siege workshop very near my base. Starting to kill my vills. Of course, my vills are trapped. And here I just go back and forth with my vills a little bit to delay the mangonel. Why? Of course, I lose the vills. And while he's constant... Oh! Ah, I got the mangonel. I got the mangonel. And he didn't fire at my mangonel. Well, at least he failed. This was a good moment, but I still was not safe. Obviously, it takes his battering rams instantly away. And you can understand why he does it, because mangonels do counter battering rams, right? So, here they go. They leave. He knows that he cannot go forwards because the mangonels will just slash the battering rams. At least I'm finally kind of defended. I don't have any stone though, that's the problem. And he also takes his knights slightly away, these cavaliers away. Oh, takes them away from the base, which is nice. I have 2 mangonels at this stage, and I start to attack his siege workshop. Why not? Because it's in range. And I keep queuing pikes and doing chain armor, forging. If I'm fighting cavaliers, I need the right upgrades for my pikes. I just cannot fight them without any upgrades. It's already hard to fight Castle Age Knights with upgrades, so imagine fighting Cavaliers with Castle Age upgrades. It's not possible. It's not possible without any upgrades. And of course I can do pikes as Persians, so I did that. Forging, it's about to come. I take a little bit of a look and scout his base. What the heck is it? A fort base, 2 villagers here, and... No, this is scary. When you see a fort base like this, it means that he just wants to hammer you as quickly as possible. Normally, there are players who play defensive, but this one is really offensive. And I try to get his rams, but also protecting my pikes. Converting one knight. I converted a cavalier. That's good. And now I can heal the pikes and the cavaliers, and my opponent cannot. You see, this is important. Each thing I'm doing here is adding for my overall defense. Oh, a castle drop. I told you. This guy is an arena nerd. And I bet that he has cavaliers here. Exactly. Takes his villagers away. They are loomed. His villagers are loomed, and I finally try to convert another of these cavaliers soon. Castle is cancelled. He knows that it's too dangerous. I have more monks here, and I convert another cavalier. these villagers. I need to kill them. No, what are you doing? Go after them. Exactly. Killing villagers for killing my enemy's villagers. Now that is bonus. I literally had to take this chance. This this would represent such an important thing for me to get his villagers. He sacrificed all his villagers for the castle job for nothing. No castle, and villagers dead. Now you might say at this point I might have some advantage. No, I don't. There are still battering rams here. I need to take them down. So, it seems like my opponent has given up on fighting, you might think. No, you don't know. I'm still massing more units in any case. So I send my cavaliers forward. Oh, I realize what's going on. Get back. And I realize that he's doing a forward base here, a defensive thing. So now I go forward. I send pikes, I send also camels. We have to go forward. Forget about anything else. The real game is now being played here. So I have to go south. And let's face this monster. This red guy here. Oh, doing the Flemish militia. What do I do here? Oh, I try to convert. 1, 2. I cannot even convert. So I need to have some micro improvements with my monks. And now he's doing... Look. This is baffling. He does a defensive castle completely walled so that my melee units cannot reach him. That is a dangerous situation. Literally a killing move. How I would respond to this, and how I do respond to this, does determine the fate of the game. So watch. I do another conversion. And I converted a villager, which is not that bad. I converted another cavalier, not good for him. And he's losing villagers building the castle here. The Flemish militia, he's also killing villagers, not good. He's losing his cavaliers, he's losing the villagers here. I'm not sure this is going to go well for him. I go with a cavalier forward. He tries to bring more villagers forward, but I'm going for here. Trying to sacrifice the Flemish militia here. Trying to cancel things. No, and what happens? Look at what happens to his vills. Flemish militia dead, villagers dead. We won the game. And this time, he said GG and left accordingly. He admitted defeat. Now, because he said loser, I also replied, loser after that, GG, loser. The guy who said loser in the beginning now understood that he lost the game. Fair and square. The guy with less experience than him, who doesn't have tricks on his cards and sleeves, has won. I didn't have my 20 tricks. I'm not playing this with alt accounts. I defeated him. Clean. And that's exactly what I wanted to show you, that the guy with much lesser experience in terms of years of gameplay and hours and worse, and who doesn't play this game to stomp on others. I play this game, just to play it, and you see how it goes. Wins the guy who plays this game to eventually steamroll with all the cards. I defeated this guy. So that's what I wanted to show you. That the fact that some people are popularity and skill are two different things in this game. So when you check online and you go online in communities and see, oh, this guy is good, this guy's bad, you can only attest that by watching the player. That's the real measure of capacity, especially if said player is facing players with much higher experience than him. So that was a clean game, and I wanted to show this to you. because this is not the type of game uh, you can expect to win. Like an ordinary player, no, you just cannot expect to stop this. I mean, yeah, sure, if you are pro against pro, I can understand, like a very high pro. And I'm trying to use this as a means to inspire you, whoever it may be, that wishes to play this game uh, in aspects of integrity. Just because you want to try your best, and not because you want to bully, opponents. If uh, there is one thing which is the natural bully that happens in game, the strongest here wins. But if you're doing this with the aim to just belittle your opponents, that's not good. And I don't play this game with that aim. That's the difference. Okay. Anyway, this was just another golden nugget I wanted to show you against a guy who technically would be favored to win, with all his Burgundian cavaliers, and he had plenty of them, and even with the Flemish militia, stopped by a few pikes and a few monks. How sarcastic is that? Well, of course, and one or two mangonels. But that's it. That was for this game. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, you can like the video, and I'll see you for the videos. Thanks for watching.